That golden brown rotisserie chicken spinning behind the glass. The aroma pulling you toward the deli counter like a tractor beam. $5. Dinner solved. 60 million Americans buy a rotisserie chicken every single week. It's become the ultimate convenience food, pre-cooked, reasonably priced, and ready to eat the moment you walk through your door. But what if I told you that Bargain Bird might be hiding a cocktail of sodium phosphates, chronic salmonella failures, animal cruelty lawsuits, and a massive recall that hit nearly 12 million pounds of chicken products in 2024? What if I told you that one major retailer's processing plant has failed federal contamination standards 100% of the time over the past 2 years, and they're still selling you those birds? What if I told you that the injection solution pumped into your chicken contains additives that European regulators banned from infant formula? Some of America's most popular grocery stores are serving rotisserie chickens pumped with solutions that aren't even listed on the label, processed in facilities that consistently fail federal safety standards, and sourced from farms where undercover footage revealed birds too deformed to stand. Birds bred so heavy their legs snap under their own weight. The National Chicken Council admits it openly. Essentially, all rotisserie chickens are enhanced with a solution injected into the bird. They call it enhanced. I call it engineered. Today, we're counting down the 10 grocery store rotisserie chickens you need to avoid, ranked from concerning to absolutely alarming. And stick around until the end, because I'm also revealing 3 surprisingly clean options that prove convenience doesn't have to mean compromise. Let's crack this open. Number 10, Stop and Shop. We're starting with Stop and Shop, and while they're not the worst offender on this list, they've earned their spot at number 10 for a reason most shoppers never consider. Stop and Shop's rotisserie chicken contains the standard injection solution found across the industry: water, salt, sodium phosphate, and those mysterious natural flavors that could mean almost anything. Their Nature's Promise and honey-flavored varieties clock in between 170 and 368 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving. That doesn't sound terrible until you realize you're probably eating way more than 3 ounces. A typical serving is closer to 6 ounces, which means you're looking at upwards of 700 milligrams of sodium from the chicken alone, before you add sides. But here's the real issue: transparency. Stop and Shop provides minimal information about their sourcing, their suppliers, or their animal welfare standards. When a company won't tell you where your food comes from, that silence speaks volumes. And wait until you see what the next store on our list has been hiding in plain sight. Number 9. BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale sources their rotisserie chicken from Purdue, and that name should make your ears perk up for all the wrong reasons. According to Farm Forward's analysis of USDA data, Purdue had 3 processing plants rated as Category 3 in 2023 and 2024. Category 3 is the worst possible rating. It means the facility consistently fails federal salmonella safety standards. Think about that. The company supplying your rotisserie chicken operates plants that the USDA has flagged as chronic contamination risks. BJ's chicken contains sodium phosphate for moisture retention, plus the usual suspects of processed starches and flavor enhancers. The sodium content sits around the mid-range, but when your supplier's facilities keep failing contamination tests, sodium becomes the least of your worries. BJ's was also one of over 200 companies that signed the Better Chicken Commitment, a pledge to improve animal welfare standards. Sounds great on paper, but signing a commitment and actually implementing it are 2 very different things. The next store on our list didn't just sign that commitment, they got caught in something much bigger. Number 8, Aldi. Aldi markets itself as the budget-conscious shopper's paradise. But in October 2024, that budget paradise turned into a recall nightmare. Aldi's Little Salad Bar, ready-to-eat chicken salads, and Fusia products were caught up in the massive Bruce Pack Listeria recall. Nearly 12 million pounds of meat and poultry products pulled from shelves nationwide. Listeria isn't your average stomachache. It kills about 260 Americans every year. Pregnant women can suffer stillbirths. The elderly and immunocompromised face life-threatening complications. The contamination was traced to Bruce Pack's Durant, Oklahoma facility, where USDA testing found Listeria in finished ready-to-eat chicken products. The recall included items with best buy dates stretching into 2026, meaning contaminated products could have sat in freezers for months. But Aldi's problems go beyond this single recall. Their standard rotisserie chickens contain the same injection solutions as most budget chains: sodium phosphate, modified starches, and unspecified natural flavors. When you're saving a few dollars but potentially exposing yourself to contaminated products and mystery additives, that's not a bargain, that's a gamble. And the next store on our list just raised the stakes. Number 7, Publix. Publix has a cult following in the Southeast. Their subs are legendary. Their chicken tender subs inspire actual devotion. But their rotisserie chicken? That's a different story. Publix's Deli Original Rotisserie Chicken contains sodium phosphates, those moisture-retaining additives linked to kidney concerns in vulnerable populations. The FDA has issued warnings about sodium phosphate products causing serious harm to kidneys and hearts when consumed in excess. Now, the amounts in rotisserie chicken are much lower than in medications. But here's the catch. Phosphorus additives are absorbed by your body with over 90% efficiency, compared to just 50 to 60% for natural phosphorus in regular food. That means even small amounts pack an outsized punch. Publix was also caught in the 2024 Bruce Pack recall. Their Publix Deli Chicken Street Taco Kit was pulled from shelves with Best Buy dates spanning June 24th through October 16th. 2024. Their Mojo-flavored rotisserie chicken adds disodium inosinate and guanylate, flavor enhancers that function similarly to MSG. Nothing illegal, but certainly not the simple home cooking image Publix cultivates. The next store on our list shares a parent company with one of the worst offenders coming up. Number 6, Safeway and Albertsons. Safeway and Albertsons are owned by the same parent company, which means their signature select rotisserie chickens share the same problems. Both chains were swept up in the 2024 Bruce Pack Listeria recall. Their signature select brand ready-to-eat products containing chicken were pulled from stores across the country. But the contamination scandal is just the surface issue. Their rotisserie chickens contain the standard injection solution with sodium phosphate, modified food starch, and sugar. The sodium content runs moderate, but moderate in this industry still means significantly higher than home-roasted chicken. Here's what bothers me most. Safeway and Albertsons provide almost no information about their chicken sourcing. No transparency about farms, no clarity on animal welfare, no details on antibiotic use beyond vague corporate commitments. When a company controls hundreds of grocery stores across America but can't tell you basic facts about where your food comes from, that's a systemic problem. And systemic problems are exactly what define the next store on our list. Number 5, Target. Target's good and gather brand positions itself as the affordable, healthy option. Clean packaging, friendly fonts, the illusion of transparency. That illusion shattered in 2024. Target's Good and Gather ready-to-eat chicken salads and frozen meals were part of the 12 million pound Bruce Pack Listeria recall. Their chicken tikka masala, with lot code SO58227 and Best Buy dates of February 28, 2026, was pulled from shelves nationwide. But Target's food safety problems go back further. In March 2018, Target recalled an undetermined amount of frozen ready-to-eat and not ready-to-eat meat and poultry products from a single store in Oahu due to temperature abuse during transport. Temperature abuse means the products weren't kept cold enough, creating a breeding ground for dangerous bacteria. And undetermined amount means they didn't even know how much potentially spoiled meat made it to consumers. Target's rotisserie chicken itself contains the standard injection solutions: sodium phosphate, modified starches, and flavor enhancers. Nothing unusual for the industry, but that's exactly the problem. The industry standard has become unacceptably low. The next store made unacceptably low their entire business model. Number 4, Walmart, America's largest retailer, America's largest rotisserie chicken seller, and one of the most concerning options on this list. Let's start with sodium. Walmart's rotisserie chicken packs a staggering 690 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving. That's higher than Costco. That's higher than Sam's Club. That's nearly 30% of your entire daily recommended sodium intake in a single small serving. Think about what that means. Eat half a Walmart rotisserie chicken, which most families would consider a modest portion, and you've consumed over 2,000 milligrams of sodium. You've essentially maxed out your entire day's limit on sodium from one item. But wait, there's more. Walmart's chicken contains carrageenan, that seaweed-derived thickener that European regulators banned from infant formula due to concerns about intestinal inflammation. A 2017 study linked carrageenan to intestinal ulcers and inflammatory bowel disease in animal models. A 2024 study suggested it may cause insulin resistance and intestinal barrier disruption. The European Food Safety Authority decided carrageenan was too risky for babies. American regulators decided it was fine for everyone. The FDA still considers it safe. The same FDA that took decades to acknowledge trans fats were killing people. The same FDA that allowed lead in baby food. The same FDA that moves at geological pace while industry writes its own safety standards. Walmart's chicken also contains modified food starch, sugar, and those ubiquitous natural flavors, a term that can mean almost anything. Their great value rotisserie chicken lunch meat adds sodium phosphates, dextrose, yeast extract, and sodium nitrite, a preservative that can form carcinogenic nitrosamines in your digestive system. Their market-side brand was caught in the 2024 Bruce Pack Listeria recall, with ready-to-eat salads and meals pulled from stores nationwide. Listeria kills. It causes miscarriages. It puts elderly and immunocompromised people in the hospital. When the world's largest retailer can't keep contaminated products off its shelves, what does that tell you about their supply chain priorities? The next store on our list proves that warehouse clubs are no safer. Number 3. Sam's Club. Sam's Club earns the bronze medal for worst rotisserie chicken, and they earned it the hard way, by cramming more sodium into their birds than almost anyone else in the industry. According to Consumer Reports, a 3-ounce serving of Members Mark seasoned rotisserie chicken contains 550 milligrams of sodium. That's about 9 times more sodium than a chicken roasted without salt. 9 times. For context, the American Heart Association recommends limiting sodium to 2,300 milligrams per day. One serving of Sam's Club rotisserie chicken, and we're talking a tiny 3-ounce portion, gets you nearly a quarter of the way there. But who eats just 3 ounces? A typical chicken thigh is 4 to 5 ounces. A breast half is 6 to 8. By the time you've had a reasonable portion, you've consumed over 1,000 milligrams of sodium from the chicken alone. Sam's Club injects their chickens with sodium phosphate to retain moisture and enhance flavor. The same sodium phosphate the FDA has warned can cause serious kidney problems in vulnerable populations. The same phosphorus additives that are absorbed at over 90% efficiency in your gut, compared to just 50 to 60% for natural phosphorus in regular food. One study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high phosphate intake from food additives contributed to arterial calcification, hardening of the arteries that increases heart disease risk. Another linked excessive phosphate consumption to chronic kidney disease progression. But sodium isn't even the scariest part. Sam's Club sources from the same industrial poultry system that's been repeatedly flagged for contamination issues. When you're processing chickens at industrial scale to hit that warehouse club price point, corners get cut, standards slip, contamination risks multiply. The FDA's generally recognized as safe designation was written decades ago, before we fully understood how phosphorus additives interact with our bodies, before we knew that Americans are consuming far more of these additives than regulators ever anticipated. The next store on our list took industrial chicken production to an entirely different level, and the consequences have been devastating. Number 2. Boston Market. Boston Market built an empire on rotisserie chicken. It's literally in their name. But what they inject into those birds should make you reconsider ever stepping inside again. Their rotisserie chicken contains up to 15% of a solution. 15% of your chicken isn't chicken at all. It's water, salt, sugar, and a cocktail of additives. Let's break down what's in that cocktail. Maltodextrin, a highly processed starch that spikes blood sugar. Carrageenan blend, that inflammatory seaweed derivative Europeans banned from baby formula. Xanthan gum, a thickener produced by bacterial fermentation. Konjac flour, another thickener that can cause digestive issues. Yeast extract, industry code for naturally occurring glutamates, essentially stealth MSG. That last one is particularly sneaky. Boston Market can claim no added MSG while pumping their chicken full of yeast extract, which triggers the same taste receptors and can cause the same sensitivity reactions in susceptible people. A typical Boston Market meal, quarter white meat chicken with mashed potatoes, creamed spinach, and cornbread, contains approximately 1,380 milligrams of sodium. That's 60% of your daily limit in a single meal. Boston Market was also caught in the 2024 Bruce Pack recall, with their prepared chicken products pulled alongside dozens of other brands. When the company that made rotisserie chicken famous can't keep their supply chain clean, it tells you everything you need to know about industry standards. But even Boston Market couldn't match the systematic failures of our #1 worst rotisserie chicken. Number 1. Costco, the $5 chicken. The loss leader that built an empire. The rotisserie so famous, it has its own Facebook fan page with devoted followers who plan their meals around Costco runs, and the most problematic rotisserie chicken in America. Costco sold 137 million rotisserie chickens in 2023, 137 million birds, all priced at exactly $4.99, a price they've held steady since 2009, while everything else got more expensive. That should be your first red flag. When inflation hits everything but one product, someone is paying the price, and it isn't Costco. Let's start with what Costco injects into their chickens: water, salt, sodium phosphate, modified food starch, potato dextrin, carrageenan, sugar, dextrose, and spice extractives. Each 3-ounce serving contains 460 milligrams of sodium, more sodium than a large order of McDonald's fries. The ingredient list also includes polysorbate 80, an emulsifier linked to gut inflammation in some studies, and silicon dioxide, an anti-caking agent. But the injection solution is just the beginning. In 2021, Mercy for Animals released undercover footage from a Costco chicken farm in Nebraska. The video showed swollen, injured, and deformed chickens living in crowded, darkened warehouses. Birds too heavy to stand. Birds with open wounds and ammonia burns. Birds with exposed internal organs. The footage showed dead chicks rotting among the living. Birds lying on their backs, unable to flip over, slowly dying of thirst inches from water. The scale of suffering was industrial. The New York Times covered the story. The Costco rotisserie chicken Facebook fan page, with its devoted following, converted into a campaign against Costco's animal mistreatment. In June 2022, 2 Costco shareholders filed a lawsuit claiming the company violated animal welfare laws in Nebraska and Iowa. The suit alleged Costco intentionally breeds chickens so large they can't support their own weight, and that disabled birds slowly die from hunger, injury, and illness. The lawsuit went further. Costco fails to provide any realistic method for its disabled birds to reach food and water, or to receive individualized veterinary care. Costco reports that 7.2 million of their birds die before even reaching slaughter. Every single year, 7 million chickens dying of disease, injury, and neglect, and that's the number Costco admits to publicly. Over 200 companies have signed the Better Chicken Commitment, a pledge to ban the worst forms of factory farming cruelty. Whole Foods signed, BJ's signed, Burger King signed, Subway signed. Costco refused. A Costco spokesperson told Consumer Reports the company has no current plan to adopt in total the requirements of the Better Chicken Commitment. But the animal welfare nightmare is only part of the story. Let's talk about salmonella. In 2019, Costco opened a $450 million chicken processing plant in Fremont, Nebraska, Lincoln Premium Poultry, to control costs and maintain that famous $4.99 price point. The facility processes over 100 million chickens annually. According to Farm Forward's analysis of USDA inspection data, that facility has consistently failed federal salmonella safety standards since it opened. The plant received the USDA's worst Category 3 rating 92% of the time between 2020 and 2024, and it's getting worse. From September 2023 through July 2025, Lincoln Premium Poultry received a Category 3 rating 100% of the time, every single month. Failed. Think about that. The facility processing your $5 rotisserie chicken fails contamination standards every month, and Costco keeps selling you those birds anyway. In October 2024, Costco expanded a recall of rotisserie chicken products over possible Salmonella Heidelberg contamination. Over 13,000 Kirkland Signature Foster Farms rotisserie chickens were pulled, along with rotisserie chicken soup, leg quarters, and chicken salad. Then there's the chemical taste. In 2023, Reddit exploded with complaints about Costco rotisserie chicken tasting chemically, soapy, and like chlorine. Hundreds of comments, multiple threads, customers describing the same disturbing flavor. Costco employees revealed that the company sources chickens from two suppliers, their own Nebraska facility and Foster Farms in California. The Foster Farms chickens are water-cooled, while Costco's Nebraska chickens are air-chilled. Some experts suggest the phosphates used in processing cause the soapy taste, similar to how cilantro tastes like soap to people with certain genetic variants. Others point to the plastic packaging leaching chemicals when chickens sit under heat lamps. Costco declined to comment. The truth is, Costco's $5 rotisserie chicken is cheap because Costco made it cheap by building their own supply chain, breeding birds for maximum size at minimum cost, processing in facilities that consistently fail safety standards, and injecting those birds with enough sodium phosphate and additives to mask whatever else might be wrong. Costco sells these chickens at a loss. They lose nearly $40 million per year on rotisserie chicken alone, but those loss leader birds pull customers into stores where they spend hundreds on other products. You're not the customer. You're the bait. But wait, I promised you 3 rotisserie chickens that prove convenience doesn't have to mean compromise. 3 options where the ingredient list actually looks like food. Here they are. Safe pick number 3, Wegmans Organic. Wegmans Organic rotisserie chicken contains just 95 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving, a fraction of what you'll find at Costco, Sam's Club, or Walmart. The organic certification means these chickens were raised without antibiotics, fed organic certified feed, and given access to the outdoors, shade, shelter, and clean water. They weren't crammed into windowless warehouses by the tens of thousands. Wegmans doesn't inject their organic chickens with massive solution loads. The ingredient list is short, clean, and pronounceable. Is it more expensive? Yes. Is it worth not consuming 500 plus milligrams of sodium and a cocktail of phosphates with every serving? Also yes. Safe pick number 2, Whole Foods Organic. Whole Foods Organic classic rotisserie chicken might be the cleanest option in mainstream grocery retail. The ingredients: organic chicken, salt and pepper seasoning, organic black pepper, sea salt. That's it. 3 ingredients. No sodium phosphate, no carrageenan, no modified starches or potato dextrin or mystery natural flavors. The organic plain version contains just 70 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving. Whole Foods doesn't inject their chickens. Seasonings are sprinkled on the skin, which means if you skip the skin, you skip most of the added sodium. Whole Foods chickens are raised without antibiotics and certified humane by the Global Animal Partnership. They actually signed the Better Chicken Commitment. The classic version runs about 420 milligrams of sodium per serving, higher, but still below Costco's 460, and without the phosphate injection. Yes, a Whole Foods rotisserie chicken costs around $9 to $13, roughly double Costco's price. But you're paying for chickens that weren't bred to deformity, processed in chronically failing facilities, or pumped full of additives to mask problems. Safe. Pick number 1, Kroger Simple Truth, the Consumer Reports winner. The cleanest rotisserie chicken in America, and proof that the industry could do better if they actually wanted to. Kroger's Simple Truth rotisserie chicken contains just 40 milligrams of sodium per 3-ounce serving. That's about 1/11 of Sam's Club, 1/16 of Walmart, a fraction of what every other major retailer pumps into their birds. The ingredient list: chicken, water, sea salt. 3 ingredients: no phosphates, no carrageenan, no modified starches, no sugar, no mystery flavorings. Simple Truth proves that rotisserie chicken doesn't require a chemistry lab's worth of additives to taste good. It proves that convenience food can actually be food. Is the Simple Truth chicken available at every Kroger? Check your local store. Is it always in stock? Not guaranteed. Is it worth seeking out? Absolutely. Kroger owns multiple grocery chains: Ralph's, Dillon's, King Soopers, Fred Meyer, and others. The Simple Truth brand should be available across all of them. That spinning rotisserie chicken looks innocent enough. Golden skin, savory aroma, unbeatable convenience. But behind that glass is an industry built on sodium injection, phosphate pumping, chronic contamination failures, and animal welfare violations that would turn most consumers' stomachs. Costco's chickens come from facilities that fail federal salmonella standards every single month, a 100% failure rate over the past 2 years. Sam's Club packs 9 times more sodium than natural chicken. Walmart uses carrageenan that Europeans banned from baby food. Boston Market injects their birds with 15% non-chicken solution. And when contamination hits, like the 2024 Bruce Pack recall that swept nearly 12 million pounds of chicken products, it touches almost every major grocery chain simultaneously. Walmart, Target, Kroger, Publix, Safeway, Aldi, Trader Joe's. When the supply chain is this consolidated, one contamination event becomes everyone's problem. The phosphate additives in these chickens are absorbed at 90% efficiency in your gut, nearly double the absorption rate of natural phosphorus. Studies link excessive phosphate intake to arterial calcification, kidney disease progression, and bone calcium loss. The carrageenan shows up in chicken after chicken, despite European regulators banning it from infant formula. The natural flavors hide yeast extract that triggers the same receptors as MSG. The sodium levels would make a cardiologist wince. But you have options. Kroger, Simple Truth. Whole Foods Organic, Wegmans Organic. 3 ingredients, minimal sodium, no injection cocktails, proof that better is possible. Kroger's Simple Truth Chicken has 40 milligrams of sodium per serving, 1/11 of Sam's Club, 1/16 of Walmart. Just chicken, water, and sea salt. Whole Foods Organic Classic has 2 ingredients beyond the chicken. Organic black pepper and sea salt. No phosphates, no carrageenan, no starches or sugars or mystery flavors. Yes, these cleaner options cost more. A Whole Foods rotisserie chicken runs $9 to $13, roughly double Costco's price. But you're paying for chickens that weren't bred to deformity, processed in chronically failing facilities, or pumped full of additives to mask problems. The choice isn't just about dinner. It's about what you're willing to accept from an industry that's been cutting corners for decades while regulators look the other way. It's about whether you trust a company that loses $40 million per year on rotisserie chicken because they know it pulls you into stores where you'll spend hundreds more. You're not the customer, you're the bait. It's about asking why a processing facility can fail federal safety standards 100% of the time and still sell you chicken tomorrow. Check your refrigerator, check your grocery store, and check what you're really bringing home for dinner tonight. Share this with someone still grabbing that $5 bird without asking questions. And drop a comment. Which rotisserie chicken has been your go-to? Did any of these revelations surprise you? Because once you know what's really spinning behind that glass, you can never unsee it.